trumpeter, composer, artist, band leader, and probably the best fro in Southern California, Tatiana Tate. Welcome to Janee's Juke Joint.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, a lot of rain going on outside, but
I
it's
know.
sunny and fruitful in here, so it's
Of
pretty
course,
good.
of course. Take the vibe in. So let me jump right into it. Long Beach, California native.
Yes.
You are born and raised in a city that a lot of people come to become stars.
Yes.
How has life in Long Beach been for you?
Honestly, life in Long Beach is honestly amazing. We come from a cultural melting pot, so I've been exposed to like almost every style of music you can think of at a very young age. So I'm very fortunate to come from Long Beach.
Okay, exposed to it at a young age. So when did you pick up the trumpet, the horn? When did you start your musical journey?
Okay, so to start my musical journey, I have to talk about my older brother. We're about 3 years apart.
Okay.
When he was in elementary school, he was a part of the Boys and Girls Club, and they have like drumline after school.
Okay.
And so my brother would be doing drumline, and we'd be waiting for our mom to come pick us up. As he got older, before he reached middle school, my mom wanted to, continue to have him do drums and music. And so we ran into a program that was on Carson Street in Long Beach called Rhythm Regiment Drum Course. And so my brother started taking lessons there, and the lady would teach like all kinds of drums from like Africa, Asia, and from Brazil. Like he was learning so many things. And during one of his lessons, she asked me if I wanted to play.
Okay.
So then I started playing the drums, and
Okay.
I was super excited. So I was playing the drums for probably about a month, and at the time I was probably like 7, playing the drums. And like a month into my
Nice.
drum lessons, she's like, "It's time to learn your next instrument." Right? So me, my brother, and the rest of our classmates at the times were kind of confused, like another instrument. And so she had all of these different brass instruments laid out on the church pews.
Hmm.
And yeah, I tried the trombone, but my arms were too short. I tried the sousaphone, but my body wouldn't be able to hold that at the age of 7. And then I was given a trumpet, and so I was playing trumpet, and my brother was playing sousaphone, and so that was kind of the journey. She gave me my first trumpet. Rest in peace to Terry Moore. She taught a lot of us creatives in Long Beach. And when I got the trumpet, she gave me the trumpet and a fingering chart. And when I came back, I knew my scale, my C major scale in 1 week. And she said,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
this is the instrument for you because, trumpet is really hard. It's a lot about your armature and your breathing. And she's like, you were able to learn and decipher the chart and come back and know a scale and you're 7 years old. So like that's how I knew like that was the instrument for me.
And when you chose that and said, okay, well, I'm going to put the drums to the back burner and we're going to go forward with this, did you see this as a lifelong thing or just like a hobby then? Or no, this is going to be my career? At 7, did you see it then?
You know what's so funny is like I still play the drums. I still play now from time to time, but there was an experience that I had when I was in church. I think I was 9 or 10 at the time. I was playing a song called How Great Is Our God, and I still knew only like 1 or 2 scales, still barely any scales. And as I was playing that tune in church, a homeless man came out of the street and he says, I heard this sound. I didn't know what it was. Now, I don't know if that was a compliment or not. But he said he didn't know what the sound was and he had to find it. And he walked up off the street and ended up joining our church. And I feel like that was the defining moment in my life that let me know that that was what I was meant to do. So,
And how old were you then?
I believe it was 9 or 10. And that's
9
when
or
that
10
happened in
years
church.
old.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were speaking earlier off camera, and I was telling you that I first saw you at the Grammy Museum. It was kind of like a jam session, and we can't remember what year. It was like 2021 or 2022, something like that. But when I see where you have gone from that moment to now, in a span of a few years, like you are making your mark in the city. Once you determine this is what I'm going to do, what was the process?
Honestly, the process started with my parents. I was fortunate enough that like my parents are the type of people, if you're going to do something, you're going to do it to the fullest. So the moment I told my dad I wanted to be a musician, he just went full on helicopter parent. I'm going to put you in everything.
I like
I'm going to
that.
have you do every single competition. I'm going to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to be successful. And my parents are both people in the business field, so they understand that being an artist and being a creative, it's not even just about how talented you are. It's the whole package,
Right.
A band and an artist is a business. It's about management. It's about your brand. It's about, how you're perceived by others. So at a young age, they were making sure I was like well articulate, media trained, and I was taking the time to really hone in on my talents. So, I get to middle school, I'm in all the ensembles. We went to extracurricular ensembles. When I was in high school, my mom, she was driving me from Long Beach to downtown LA so I could go to Colburn Conservatory and join the jazz band. So like they were kind of like the grounding force in, why my career is where it is. And then from there, I only started getting into social media in 2023.
Okay.
I was content with my career, but I wanted more, I was like, okay, I want to do more commercial gigs, more TV show gigs. What can I do? And after consulting with many others and even my friend Kyla, she was like, Tati, the only difference between you and these people is your social media footprint. Like, we live in a day and age where your social media is your resume. And she gave me a challenge. She said, I want you to make content, do it for 6 months. And if you don't like it, don't ever do it again. And so I started making videos and posting more for 6 months consistently, twice a week for 6 months. And then at that 6th month, my page just exploded. It turned from, 1 like to like 100 likes to 1,000 likes, and then the follows and things. And then it started really solidifying to me something that, feels easy, like picking up my horn and playing a tune is cool. But to other people around the world, I kind of like, to them, I was kind of like a symbol because there's not a lot of Black women who do what I do in my field, especially playing jazz. It's a very much still a white dominated profession. So I just felt like I had to keep going. So,
keep going.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you are continuing this journey because you're amazing.
Thank
You're amazing.
you.
And we definitely I like to see women, Black women in different positions and stepping into these rooms and doing stuff that's like not typically for us, but are making moves. And you're definitely making moves in the industry. So we appreciate it. As far as social media, I hear artists say it's good and it's bad. Like, what are your takes on it?
I'm going to be very honest with you. Like,
please do.
In the beginning of my social media journey, I would cry after every post. I would overthink, especially because it's like not only are you sharing yourself like musically or emotionally, but you're showing yourself physically. So I can be like, dang it, I really would have wished that, that my pocket wasn't inside out in that video, but now it's up there and it's been a few hours and too many people have seen it. So I just got to let it go. But honestly, with social media, I kind of learned to love myself, love my sound on my instrument, and love the way I look. Because, not all the comments are positive. Some people want to talk about how I look or how much I weigh or how, like, I might have looked a little bit bigger in a video now than 6 months ago. So it just it helped me build a lot of confidence in what I can bring to the table. But it also propelled like my career. I've gotten amazing opportunities. Like I got to play with Doechii on a Tiny Desk. I was playing with Stevie, and a lot of this was because somebody was like, who's that girl that keeps popping up on my TL playing the horn and doing these corny videos? Who's this girl? And it's just like, then people get to know me and my artistry, and I'm grateful for the journey.
And I saw one video which it showed your sense of humor, and I love that. I think it was the one where a bug was like flying on the stage, because I'm terrified of bugs too. So I could so relate to that video.
Oh my gosh.
But you did so well. Like you played it off and got up and kept it moving. And
that's so funny.
But the fact that you put it up, like it just shows,
Yeah, because I had to keep it real. I mean, that was back in August. That was literally like a couple of months ago. I'm terrified of bugs. Like
Me too. I get it.
I just don't. And I think for me, it was getting sent the video by multiple people, and I had to do damage control.
Oh, someone sent... No, I thought...
Yeah. Those were multiple angles from multiple people.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, well, if I post it first, it's funny. If someone else posted before I do, it's no longer funny.
Yeah. Well, It was funny. It was funny. But you were so professional with it, and it worked. And it just, so shout out to you for that, for being vulnerable and being okay with that. Because like you said, there's a lot of criticism online. There's a lot of hype, and people are happy for you, but a lot of people can be negative. So the fact that you take control of that was really good.
Thank you.
So you spoke about doing Tiny Desk. You spoke about playing with, she said Stevie, but she Stevie Wonder. We know. Right? But,
Yeah.
doing all of that, what is your ultimate goal? Like, what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to be in like 5 years? Let's say that.
Honestly, I want to do everything. I know that's like such a interesting thing to say, but I guess for the majority of my career, I've played for other people, I've recorded for other people. And I play my own solo shows. Like I play a few jazz festivals with my band, but I really want to take the time to invest in my artistry. I want to get a Grammy one day.
Okay.
I want to do it all. I want to, live my artistry to the fullest. I think where I see myself in 5 years is like 5 years. I want to have 5 studio albums.
Nice.
And in 5 years, I want to have a Grammy or maybe a couple of Grammys because why not? And interestingly enough, I feel like today there's been a lot of like, a lot of presence around jazz. A lot of people are saying jazz is cool again. We got albums with like Juicy and like Dustin Conrad and all these other creatives amplifying jazz, and people think it's cool. And I was like, oh, now's my time because everybody thinks jazz is cool again.
Yeah.
So I really just want to continue to, share my gift and also letting people know like jazz isn't just like Dixieland. Jazz isn't just a 1960s type of feel. Like jazz can be whatever we want it to be, especially because we're mixing it with hip hop, we're mixing it with gospel, we're mixing it with all of these different things. And also jazz is the foundation of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So if I can get like the listeners to understand how beautiful that can sound, and if I can produce a sound that makes people fall in love with jazz, that's kind of what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good goal to go to. And you're absolutely right. Like I've been to the Blue Note LA a lot recently. It's fairly new here, but they've had several hip hop artists. And it's so weird. I think the first one I saw was Killer Mike, with a live band and everything. And I didn't know much of Killer Mike's music, but I love jazz. So I go there and they perform it and I'm like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. Like I didn't know his music, but with a band behind it, I was like, now I'm a fan. So, jazz and music is it brings in it connects people in a way that nothing else can. So definitely shouts out to you for that. And you mentioned you want to have 5 studio albums in 5 years. We're going to claim that.
Claim that. Music is hard to get out. I ain't got nothing now.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're going to get into. You got one that's coming.
One that's
coming.
Project coming. All the music coming. I just decided. I said 2026, all gas, no brakes. We releasing everything. You know how Oprah was giving cars? I'm giving
you
records.
Get a car. You get
Here's
a car.
Single.
You get a car.
Here's a single. Here's a record.
So tell us a little bit about what you wanted the studio album to be next year.
Okay, so next year is just going to be my EP, and I'm just going to give you a little taste of it. The first single I'm going to release is called Betty Hubbard, and it's basically a song that I wrote in college about basically all the changes I was experiencing. I was becoming an adult. I was really on my own. I also went to like a PWI, so it was just like there was 1% Black students, and in the music program there was like 5 of us, and in the jazz program it was like me and then like somebody else. So I wrote that song based on like me trying to reconnect with where I came from Long Beach, the West Coast. So Betty Hubbard is just like, you hear this like really awesome like West Coast G-Funk beat, and then you hear this trumpet on top and you're like, whoa, like what is this? It's like changing, and the song is changing, and it just represents like the person that I was becoming. And with that song, I'm going to have an EP, and each song is going to be its own album. So each song from the EP is going to be its own album, and they're all different because I cannot be boxed in as an artist or creative. So that's kind of the goal with my music right now.
Okay, sounds dope. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully top of 2026.
Yes, top of 2026.
All right, Tatiana Tate, before you leave the Juke joint, let everyone know how they can stay in contact with you.
Well, everyone, my name is Tatiana Tate. You can follow me on all socials at TTATE Music. And January 1st, 2026, look for my music out there. And yeah, keep, sharing your gift. Keep being vessels. And thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.